Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. Now, we had Deku and Kara. These two were trying to give Clark a bit of tough love. Kara, she does talk to Cal whenever he's calm. And Deku, he tries to piss Clark off. He wants Clark to actually tap into his emotions, tap into his anger, his sorrow. Being here will help him feel human for a week. And during that time, he is going to come to Deville to try and at least talk to him. Deku explained it to him very quickly, while they were fighting in their sparring match. He'll talk about a lot. He brought up Lois, he brought up the Fallen, he brought up Connor and the Young Justice team. He brought up everything. Every friend he's lost getting to this point, where he's standing here today. And Clark? Yeah. He was a bit more taken aback by all this. Deville is trying to give him a lesson on humanity. That shouldn't be a thing that happens. And Deku, for him, it feels a bit bad. He might have to murder Kal-El. I mean, just... Jesus. Ask him that 2 years ago, whenever he first came back to Earth. He would have said no. I mean, Clark was still the man he should have been, but he wasn't. And that's what concerns Deku. At one point in his life, that seemed easy and doable. But right now in the moment, it seems like an impossible request. Especially because if he does take Cal's life, how will it affect the woman he loves and his relationship with her? Now, with that being said, there actually is today. Clark, he came to talk to Deville, and the two, they left. And Kara, she found this to be a very good opportunity. She went to go to see Wonder Woman, and Deku and Cal, the two, they do somewhat fight it out. Deku, he does at least keep bringing up good points. Things Clark wants to do, things Clark wants to ban. Things Clark, he wants to discontinue and stop. There are certain things that Clark, he can stop, but there are others that he can't. Even his authority may not reach their ears. And Clark, well, he doesn't believe that. Deku, he does know. If he tries to ban this, people might acquire it illegally. If you try and ban it, people, they might stock up on it while it's still around, and gouge the prices on it. If he tried to stop something from being made, people will make it. There are people who have the skills to do so. If you try and stop something from being made, it's going to cause more harm. Because of what he's doing, he makes a market for it. I mean, the strength-granting pills. He's heard rumors going around, people are trying to copy the recipe. They don't have every single component. And, well, some of the copycats he's heard about, they don't exactly do good things. They could be drugs, or they could just be fakes. And Deku, he does at least bring that up to Cal. And Clark, he is a bit annoyed. Lex told him before he left. He stopped production because of a few things. And right now he does keep that to himself. People can't know that the regime, they have ordinary soldiers. Batman can't know. But then again, Bruce, he has his own set. So, that worries him. Bruce has access to the tech and the knowledge to create more. So what does that mean? That means that Bruce is still a threat. And Deku, he does notice Cal getting a bit distracted. As Deku, he does go to throw out a fist and Rookie smashed across Cal's face. And Clark right now, he does go tumbling into the ground. Him going to stand back up as Deku, he does go to throw out his leg directly upwards and into Clark's chin. Him going to knock Clark backwards As Clark, whenever he does go smashing towards the edge of the ring, he does go looking back up towards Duville. And Deku would tell him, bring up his hands. They weren't over, or they weren't done, were they? And Clark does look directly back at Deku, with a bit of anger. And he does charge in talking about a few other things. Now, Deku and Clark, they do somewhat repeat this for a few days. And Clark, he does feel a little bit more relaxed. No. He still feels stressed the hell out, but he just feels like he's working through it, I guess. But even then, that being what Clark does think, him walking through Kandor and heading back to him and Diana's place, where Diana, she actually was somewhat testing out and swinging on the balcony a sword. Now, Deku, or not Deku, Clark, he does think about a lot of it. A lot of what's going on here. Him actually going to walk into his kitchen after he took a shower. And right now, there is where Clark, he is going to pour something into a glass. Him going to bring it up to his lips as he does taste the cold alcoholic wine. Now, Clark does think about it. Him going to knock back the entire cup as he will go to pour another glass. Being here, it's shown him quite a bit. Him going to walk around and go to sit down. Right now, it's telling him a lot. It's making him feel different, better. No, that he's perfectly fine the way he was. He has to protect Earth. But no, this place has shown him more. Not just Earth. He needs to protect Kandor. And Kandor, people, they talked about it. No, wait a second. Now, Clark has an idea. And he does think about it for 1 second. It popped into his head. Kandor, it's a city without a planet. And there's, well, Earth. Earth has a planet. And Clark, he lost his city. Metropolis was rebuilt, but it looks a little different. A little off whenever you fly over it. You can tell something happened here. And Clark doesn't like that. If he were to enlarge Kandor, keep it on Earth, and the Kryptonians under a yellow sun, they were able to gain powers. Why didn't he think of this before? Now, Clark, he has it in his mind. An entire army of 7 million Kryptonians. That's overkill. And that is putting it very, very lightly. That's a sizable chunk of a population. That's a city full of people with the powers of one man. One man who managed to bend the entire world to his fingertips. Made them listen. He made numerous things happen. And he was just alone. No Duville, no Kara. So, this being where Wonder Woman, she has come walking in. And Clark, he still is sipping on his second glass. As Diana, she actually going to ask the farm boy if he does feel better after his morning workout shower. Diana, I have a few things to discuss. Now, we do actually have Deku and Kara. Right now, Deku, he does walk out of the bathroom, as he does go to walk into the kitchen, and then go to pour himself something to drink. Right now, him bringing up a blue fluid directly to his mouth. Him sipping on it and talking about it to Kara. You know, it's a bit strange, right? Kara actually walking over, as she will go to take the glass from Deku and go to drink the rest of the fluid. Her expressing to him, it's not that strange. Her going to actually bring down the glass before going to bring her hands up. Her going to grab at her hair and talk about it, as she does go to walk over and grab a towel. It's simple. Her expressing and turning around. Her going to dry her hair. Deville thinks that Clark will listen. However, what he's talking about right now, spying on them, trying to listen in and get additional information, things that Cal's sensitive on, is he sure that that's a good idea? No. Deku does tell Kara. I mean, it's a good idea, right? He could hit Cal where he needs to be hit. This is supposed to be tough love. Now, Kara does actually still come walking over. Her going to toss her towel directly onto the counter, expressing to Deville. Yes, it's tough love. However, Kal-El, right now he may be a bit busy. What do you mean? I told Diana that Allura, she sent over some nice wine. In fact, she's going to be taking those two out to dinner. Today. So, we should be getting ready then, right? I mean, well, dinner is going to be in a few hours, but where does that leave us? Us? Now, Carter's going to somewhat smile. Her actually going to step forward towards Deville, bring her mouth up to his ear, and going to whisper a few things. They can do whatever they want. Clark and Diana, they're going to be busy all day. And, well, if she's correct, they don't even really have to leave the apartment. They're alone. They have the rest of the day together. Clark and Diana, more than likely, they're going to be drinking. So, Cal's going to have fun, and he is going to calm down a bit. In fact, how about they have some of that drink? Some of the wine? I mean, this is a rare opportunity. It's not often the two, they could see each other hammered, see themselves hammered, loosen up, have a little bit of fun. Who says they even really have to leave the apartment today? Right now, today, it's part of their vacation. And it's a couple's day. She just made that today. He's not leaving her. Now, Deku, he actually somewhat go to pull back from Kara. Him actually somewhat going to turn towards the bottle and looking at the wine. And now he does think about it whenever he does go to grab onto it and stare at it, before he will go to actually turn back to Kara and bring his hand back. Kara actually somewhat stepping forwards and spitting. Her telling Deville. She'll grab the glasses. No. Deku, right now he actually has to think about what to do. As the two, they pour glasses and put on some music. And right now there actually is Clark and Diana. Right now Clark, after his morning workout and him trying to hydrate a little before he started drinking a little, he talked to Diana about the Kandor idea. And there actually was where Diana, in a surprising turn of events, she asked Clark to ask the Kandorians, ask the people in charge. If he comes to them and explains what's going on, there's a chance they actually might be on his side. Right now he doesn't need to know. They have Zods. If she's correct, the Zods are highly trained and skilled. It's like 30,000 Duvilles. And that actually does make Superman think of something. He thought about it before. He wanted to introduce Duville to Zod. Maybe let Duville try and talk Zod down. I mean, he's tried it before, but Zod didn't listen to him. But he was a farmer. Zod's words, not his. Duville, though. Duville can provide a bit of that tough love. That's what they're doing. Now, it does hit Clark. I'm a bit surprised. The relaxation, the vacation, he was on the verge of exhausted. And right now, he's almost on the verge of falling over. But he has it in his head. Now, right now, Clark, he would have talked to Allura. Him telling her and trying to keep himself a bit more proper. Trying to not stumble over his words like a bit of a drunken fool. And Diana, she can see Cal actually keeping himself together. As Clark, he does talk to Allura about it. He expresses to her how Earth was before he took over. He tells her what the planet was. It had monsters on it. There are people with powers, metahumans. They are sold as slaves. They're used as weapons of war. And actual weapons of war, they've changed. He doesn't know what Krypton had, but on Earth they used to go from sticks and stones to sharpened metal, to metal that can fly on a stick, an arrow. And then there was gunpowder. That may as well have been the birth of war, something that revolutionized the art of killing a man. And then there actually was whenever they made guns. The first ones were very simple. I mean, you could probably make them out of a pile of fucking sticks and whatever the gunpowder's made out of. And then there's just now what they've turned to. Ways to level entire cities. Ways to destroy entire structures. Buildings from miles, if not thousands of miles away. Now, right now, Allura, she does see it. Clark is begging her to let the Kryptonians settle on Earth. But she remembers what Kara and Deku told her. How Kryptonians are under the yellow sun. I mean, it sounds like way too much power. There are definitely some people who, if they know this information, they're gods under the yellow sun. They'd use that power for so much evil. The Science Council, if they knew this information, dear God, what would they have done to Krypton? What would they have done to their own star? No. Allura, she does try to at least tell Clark. She doesn't know what will happen if this does happen. Does Kal-El want entire gangs of Supermen running around? They won't be a force he understands to lead. And Diana, she actually tried to at least intervene. Her at least going to tell Clark what to say. And Clark would talk about the following. This is Diana of Themyscira. Themyscira is an island nation on Earth. Themyscira is ruled by warrior women. There are men on that island, but they aren't really welcome there. They are still Amazonian, however. The men there, they kill, they fight, and they perpetuate their own wars. However, they're one-on-one, small little tribal factions. The Amazons, they're more orderly and skilled. He wouldn't lead the Kryptonians, nor would he help keep them in line. The Amazons would help, and other Kryptonians trying to stop those ones. The ones on the right side of history. Now, Allura, she does hear Clark talk. These clearly aren't the words of a man who drived and strived for peace. They're not the words of a man who led by example. Right now, Clark is leading by execution. He is going to show force. Allura can see it now. The way he describes the Amazons. If they're all a lot like this woman, she can see it. A gang of people flying around, causing havoc and destruction on the innocent humans. And she doesn't like it. They're too soft and squishy for a Kryptonian. But, God. No. Allura does not excuse herself. Her standing from the table. She can imagine it already. The shows of force. The executions in the streets. She can see it. They'd be hanged and killed by the very lassos that call for justice. That's what that was, isn't it? That lasso on her side. She clearly uses it as a tool. But is it a good tool? Or is it a bloody tool? Now, that right now is what she's doing. She's thinking about it as she does tell Clark. She will take this information to the council. However, it will take time. The debate may not, well, happen until after they left, however. So maybe on the next supply run, the next time they bring supplies to them, they might have a reply. Now, Allura needs to talk to Deku and Kara. Give this information to them. Actually, at least express to them what the hell Kal-El's trying to do. This was supposed to be a vacation, right? A way to help this man mourn, grieve? But he's trying to use the opportunity to hire a fucking army. God. Now, Allura, after she does leave, she does make sure at least Cal had a little bit more to drink. Maybe that idea will sound a little less crazy when he's not drunk. And she at least does ask the Amazon to take him back home safely. And Diana, she would go to at least express to the woman, trying to, as she was going to bring a thumbs up. Now, Allura just stared at the Amazon confused, before the Amazon would nod, before at least going to help Cal stand to his feet. Now, right now Allura would watch the two go away, and there is where she just decide to make her way very quickly over to see Duville Zod. Now, there actually is where she does hear it, as right now there is music playing, and she is going to pound on the door. Her waiting a second before she actually does come walking into the room. She tried knocking twice more, and there was still no response. And there is actually on the couch. Right now, Deku and Kara, the two do lay there. There's still music playing. Her going to walk over and turn it off. As right now, there is actually the two. Kara, she right now is laying on the couch next to Deku. And Deku, right now, he does at least lay there, somewhat asleep? Drunk, probably. Conscious? She doesn't know. Now, right now she would go to walk over and grab her hand down. Her going to shake onto Kara. Now, Kara doesn't jump. Her turning and actually seeing her aunt. As her aunt does look around the room, there's a lot of questions she's not going to ask any questions. Now, Kara right now she just sit there. As there's one of her Duville, he does wake up. Him actually still going to turn and see Allura. Him going to try and stand up. As there's one of her Kara, she actually going to somewhat grab onto his arm. And Deku would turn towards her. As Allura, she does look down at Duville, telling him she needs to talk to him very urgently. Both of them. Right now, this is very, very important. Today, Kal-El asked her if he could allow Krypton to stay on Earth. He wanted to give them a home. He wants them to stay here. And they could be just like him. They could help the regime. Now, Deku, he does want to work a bit more. Him a bit shocked hearing her say that. And there is actually Kara. Kara, she does think. Cal's right. They could help them, but not everybody would be on board. Now, that does unnerve her a bit. Giving people these powers. When she first learned that she had them, she wanted to do good. And right now there's another thought going through her mind. There are people who would do good. But what about the ones that would do evil? Her actually turning towards Duville. Thinking about the way she thought a Zod was. To her, that was evil incarnate. But there are Zods on this planet. There are people here that they definitely would use those powers for evil. I mean, General Zod. How he said he killed people. And Zod was his worst opponent. He was another last son from a different house, but clearly not. Now, Kara, she does sit there, and Deku does go to actually stand up and think about that. Him going to walk towards the kitchen as Kara, she does sit there and actually go to grab onto the blanket. Now, Kara, she does try to straighten her mind out. The idea of people having powers like them, doing what they do. God. Now, right now Allura will go to express the rest of it. The Amazons would keep them in line. That's what she said. People who deter or leave the side of justice, they would face punishment. But from what she understands of the regime already, from what they have told her, it will not be kind. It will not be gentle. It will not be easy. Now, that is what Allura should think about. It still does unnerve her. And right now Deku, he does actually stand there with a drink in his hand, telling them, I'm going to sip onto a hydrating fluid. That he's fairly certain, him walking back into the room in his sweatpants, that Cal, he may be trying to think more like him. What would he do if he needed people's help and he needed people like him? Extraordinary powers and abilities that he grew up with. He would think just like this. Everyone here is like him. However, there's a thing that he's worried about. Right now, Superman or Clark, he's going to come to him, ask him questions about why he never talked about or theorized about using the Zods in battle, or any Kryptonians to help them. Why not just keep Kandor on Earth? Why didn't Duville think of that? Enlarge the city with the help of the Atom, and Kryptonians are on Earth now. Boom. Problem solved. Both problems solved. Now, Deku, he does actually at least talk about it, trying to tell Allura to stall the leaders, or at least the other representatives. Stall on the vote. Tell them about the regime, the real regime. They would not want Kandor pulled into war. This is the last city of Krypton. If they were pulled into a war, this place might be turned into a glass floor. All the weapons of war that Cal told her about, they would be used on this city. If the building still stood because of how the metal is, Kryptonian, formed under the pressure of Krypton, if those buildings stayed standing, that would be surprising. I mean, there's a chance, but they don't know for sure. They don't know anything. This place could be destroyed. It could be indestructible. Would they really risk that chance? Would they try that? No, they wouldn't. The moment Earth realizes that city is full of Supermen, that place is being fucking annihilated. Targeted on the spot. She knows it. It'd be the best military tactic. Especially because they would need time to absorb the sunlight. Now, right now Deku, he does at least talk about that. They'd be surprised. Kara developed her powers within months. Most Kryptonians, though, they could be charged artificially. Cal would have that idea. He'd want them to prepare something to blast them full of yellow sunlight. Then they're supercharged and ready to go. Cal might talk to Cyborg about that. See about that. That's what he'd do. And right now, Kara, she does actually go to stand. Her talking about it. It would be the best tactic. And Cal doesn't even know it. Cal doesn't know that he'd be dooming an entire city. And Deku, he does sit there quietly. And right now there actually is Clark. Clark, he was actually excited, a bit intrigued. they can take down and destroy Batman, him currently laying down in a bed, falling asleep to the idea about it. Now, Clark would wake up the next morning. He feels hungover and groggy, but the idea is still in his mind, and he does decide to try and race to go see Duville. And right now there actually is Diana, who does lay asleep on the couch. Right now she does hear Clark leave, and she doesn't decide to chase him, because she's still comfy. Now, Diana does lay there still a bit hungover, as Clark, he races over to the apartment. And there is where he is in the elevator, pressing onto the button. Him heading upstairs, as there is whenever he does get a knock on the door. And right now there actually is Deku and Kara. The two, they currently do lay on the couch. They fell asleep. And right now there is whenever Clark, he does go to walk into the apartment. Now, right now Deku, he does get somewhat set up and turn. Him going to see Cal, as Deku, he does actually somewhat lay there with his arm still up. Him at least going to hide Kara. Now, right now Clark, he will go to look directly at Duville. Deku asking Cal what he wants. Where's Kara? She left. Oh. Fuck. My head. I see you had fun. Yeah. Cal, can we talk later? She went to go see Allura. I don't know. Right. We have much to discuss. Now, Clark, he does want leave. And right now he does think about what to do. I mean, he has it on his mind. He feels like a weight has been lifted. Now, Superman, he's already a little crazy. However, right now, he already thinks he's winning. He already thinks he's won. Because why not? He's indestructible. He can't be hurt. And neither will they. And right now, Clark, he doesn't realize it. If this happens, they are not going to be safe. Now, with that being said, Deku, he will go to lay back down. And right now the two, they do somewhat going to breathe a sigh of relief. That was close. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.